With millions of YouTube channels, lovers of the weird, wacky, and what the choose talks a lot entertainment. This is Dick's News US. Hello and welcome to Dick's News US. Yes, indeed. This is going to be an interesting one because it's a really kind of a boring topic, if we're being honest. Polls. And everybody kind of gets it that polls have been untrustworthy in the past, right? But we're in modern age and nothing is as it seems ever. So, hail to mass grave. Just popped in. And of course, the mod of all mods, Vince Womack. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Sean Landrigan. Hey, hey. Hi, hi, hi. As Foxy Love would say. Mm-hmm. Go watch Drawn Together. And if you've never seen Drawn Together...
Friends, I have killed one of God's most innocent and intelligent creatures. And I liked it.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the I can never pronounce this correctly. At least I don't think I am. I've never heard this said out loud by anyone in the history of ever. It's Quinnipiac University poll. All right, but that's in a minute. All right, because it's showing some stuff that I'm all like, these almost seem like they're honest. And it's breaking my brain a little bit. Just saying. Hail to Sean Estep. He says, driving, listening. All right, hail. Shouldn't be texting and driving at the same time, you boob. Gosh, dude. Don't you know that kills people? They put that at the same risk level as drunk driving, actually, because 25% of fatal crashes are typically caused by drunk drivers, and 24% are caused by people who are texting and driving at the same time. It's kind of crazy. Just saying. Vince Womack says he's still stuffing his face with a nice pork chop. Hell yeah, buddy. What is up? I love me a good pork chop. I'm not going to lie. Especially when it's like seasoned correctly and anything. It's good stuff. What you saying, Landrigan? Crashes are caused by bad drivers. Well, you're not wrong. A bad driver never misses his exit. Remember that. Or her exit. Happens a lot. He says, as long as it's just other people, it's okay. Nice, Vince. Nice. Hail to One Man Show. It's good to see you, buddy. It's awesome to see you. We're here tonight to talk about polls and whether or not we should trust these damn things, right? And so I decided to do a poll earlier that has apparently disappeared from my current active windows. The hell is that? Oh, that's right. I was clicking on the wrong button. Boomer moment. He says his pork chops are seasoned with salt, pepper, thyme, and lots of butter. That sounds delicious. The only poll I trust is my own. Hail to Massgrave, and true that. Landrigan says true. I actually caused an accident switching lanes one time. Well, that's definitely not a good thing. Oh my gosh. In case you guys didn't know, I've been in 15 car accidents at least. So, not, to make your exit. Yeah, bad drivers never miss their exit. Apparently, we know who not to drive around. Sean Landrigan, sir. Well, yeah, 15, Vince. Don't ask me to recount them all. I will tell you that I've only been the driver for 2. And that was neither of which were drunk driving or texting. Yeah, first one I fell asleep. Second one, I hit a patch of black ice in my dad's F-250. I think it was. I think it was an F-250 because it had the two gas tanks on it and it was long, but it wasn't a dually. But anyway, and I hit this piece of black ice and I went and I hit the curb and almost took out one of the trees in my town. And they were like, "Man, if you would have hit that tree, that would have been $2,000." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Landrigan's like, it was once 10 years ago. Gosh, don't you know you can get canceled for 10 years ago? I mean, come on, bro. But nah, it's all good, bro. I get it. I get it. Sometimes things happen. I mean, I got my dad's truck, same one that I crashed, egged because I accidentally cut somebody off trying to get into the movie theater parking lot and shit. Yeah, I came out with my date and stuff, and the whole truck was just covered in eggs. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny looking back at it. They could have done a lot worse because that truck was not hard to find. It was big and it was red. Like, whoa. So I ran a poll just asking currently. It's on my community page on my channel here. It says, how much do you trust official political polls? And of course, no one, surprisingly, has voted for completely or even somewhat. And of course, not at all is basically got 100% of the votes because most people are actually pretty intelligent, especially if they're subscribers of mine. And if you're not a subscriber of mine, then go ahead and subscribe. Hail to Radioactive. That's awesome. Great to see you. Indeed. So obviously, most of the people, none of the 13 people that voted for this trust stuff. This will be up probably forever. I don't know. We'll see if I actually feel like deleting it at any point. Might delete later. IDK. But all right. I guess. Oh, I forgot to pull up this interesting poll. Hold on. Because we're going to talk about the primary polls and shit like that. But so obviously this is like not a great news site to go to, but it's called the Cheat Sheet Top 10 right now. And this poll has shown that 59% of California voters oppose cash reparations for slavery. Vince Romack says he hardly ever gets community notifications. I am not surprised. I actually took the time to fill out the creator survey today, and I told them exactly what I thought. And I'll tell you, it was a lot of very dissatisfied when it came to things like that, like especially in their reaching an audience section, because none of the people who subscribe to my shit really get notifications, and the ones that do are probably like me with the people that I follow, and they get them like a day and a half after it's happened, and they're like, "Oh, well, thanks." And it's like, "Okay, YouTube, you need to fix this." But anyway, so this right here, published September 10th of this year, 59% oppose cash reparations for slavery. Landrigan says, well, then that 59% should individually donate their money. What? They oppose cash reparations. 41% say they're for it. Yeah, but this is where we get a California task force recommendation for cash reparations to descendants of enslaved people is opposed by 59% of voters in the state, according to a new poll co-sponsored by the Los Angeles Times. Everyone knows. Everybody knows. And you're good, bro. You're good. You're good, homie. Things happen. I myself, despite my wonderful appearances and how I can pull it off, get things wrong all the time. Oh, yeah. Anyway, 28% said they back the idea of cash payments, which state lawmakers will consider next year. So 28% of people said that they would be down for cash repayments in California for slavery reparations. And some people were talking like $5 million per person. All right. So I'm personally not surprised that almost 60% of the people said that they weren't really for this. Hail to Jason Fox. Got it, bro. So, Jason, all right, now that Jason Fox is here, he's the one that made this at 540 Studio. All right, that doesn't really work, but that's fine. So, does this say I'm a gay fish? Does this say I'm gay or I'm a gay fish or something like that? Did you label me as something that I can't read? Like a Japanese tourist or an American guy wearing like or an American housewife getting a Japanese symbol tattooed like on her cankle or something. Like, what does this mean? Jason. I need answers. Hail to toxic man flu. And yes, Sean Landrigan, that's sick as hell. It's Bruce Lee with a lightsaber, bro. This guy knows what's up with making merch. But yes, hail to toxic man flu. Jason. It reads chicken soup. According to Vince Womack. Jason, don't leave me hanging, bro. Let me know what it says. I'm just kind of curious. Because even if it does say I'm stupid or like something like that, I'll still wear it all the time. Oh, the one behind me? Yeah, I felt like I'd break up the monotony of my green screen with a little bit of bats and Joker. You know, it's a good thing. This thing was on clearance at Hobby Lobby. I thought it was cool, so I paid the like $4 for it. I find good deals, yo. Ist say Bruce Lee in Aborish Star Wars typing, etc. Oh. Is it's a all right. Aren't we all a bit bats sometimes? Yes, just a little bit. Anyway, so we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes, but I just wanted to show you that according to this particular poll, 60% of people in California say that they do not really back cash reparations for slavery in the state of California. Now then, on to what we're actually talking about tonight. According to this, the 2024 primary races, nearly 3 in 10 Trump supporters and half of Biden supporters signal they are open to other options, as this poll finds. Voters support age limits on candidates for president and Congress. So it's even a little bit kind of like a follow-up from last time. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, that was so ew. Anyway, so support for former President Donald Trump, according to this poll, sits at 62% among Republican, and that's slightly up from 57% in August when they did it. Oh, okay. So I should probably explain this poll a little bit. I won't get into too many of the boring details, but what they did was they used a random digit dialing system, which is basically AI or a computer that generates a phone number. They called up nearly 2,000 people to get their answers on these surveys, and they asked them very specific questions. We will do our best to get through all of the questions that they had on this, but there's no point in getting into the boring reading of the actual statistics and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring one up and then we're going to talk about it. And I will do polls in the chat to see exactly how the broader community feels about the topics that they're talking about. And of course, I know many of you are not some of you, many, are not from the United States or do not live in the United States, and that's totally fine. Feel free to participate in the poll because, like my personal opinion on all polls, it's kind of doesn't really matter, but I want to know. I'm curious, so I'm going to be taking some polls as we go along with this stuff. So, anyway, back down to here. So, 62% of the Republicans are for Trump. DeSantis has 12%, down from 18 in August, and then no point in even talking about these people. Really, you know how the system works here. You get two choices, and that's it. Massgrave says Corey is going to take some polls. Yeah, you're a silly boy. Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. So, blah, blah, blah. Democratic primary. This is where it gets interesting. Okay. So, President Biden receives 73% support among Democrats and Democratic leaning voters. Okay. Followed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has 11%. So 39% of the people in the Democratic presidential primary say that they're firmly set on their choice of the Democratic nomination no matter what happens. 58% say they might change their candidate depending on what happens leading up to the Democratic primary. Among these voters supporting Biden in Democratic primary, 51% say they might change their candidate choice depending on what happens as well. And we'll get into that. Okay. Vince, if you start calling me daddy, I will ban you from my channel. And you know that I love you like a brother. But don't cross the line. Anyway, so Democrats are apparently, according to this poll, which had a fairly large sample size, said that they are willing to change their votes depending on, or their choices and who they would prefer and blah, 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 depending on what goes on leading up to that. Okay. And that's actually very important because this covers several areas that are a very hot button issue right now. But one of the Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy said clearly loyalty to the two leading candidates in the primaries for president is not written in stone. Roughly 1/3 of Trump voters might walk away from him and roughly half from Biden. Daddy-O is fine because that's a little bit more hip and not so jive, I think is the lingo. Anyway, so in the general election, this is where things are a little strange, but not surprising, right? In a hypothetical matchup between Biden and Trump, 47% said they would support Biden and 46% said Trump, which is basically the same dead heat that they've been in since they took the polls before in August, this one. When asked who would do a better job in a national crisis, 51% said Trump and 44% said Biden. Okay. And these are interesting numbers to be hearing because these almost sound like honest numbers. And I'm not saying you can't trust these people, but I don't trust anybody. So I'm questioning, like, how it seems legit, right? But sometimes things aren't what they seem, and sometimes things are too good to be true, right? I need to take a look at the chat real quick. Hold on. Who the hell are those 44%? Bro. The blue no matter who people. That's like... So, age of the candidates. This is the follow-up from last week, okay? We're talking about age restrictions last week and stuff. And so we wanted to see exactly, I saw that this was a thing and it's a concern, right? So they do have varying percentage ranges. This is to account for a margin of error or some shit. But for the sake of speed and not falling asleep while in the middle of a fucking sentence, I'm just going to go with whatever number comes first. So 61% of support for 61% supports setting a maximum age limit for candidates to be eligible to run for president of the United States. There is strong support among all listed groups. 66% independent, 60% Democrats, and 57% Republicans. And of course, the Republicans aren't going to want age limits because most of the Republican party is like really old now. Not saying the Democrats are young ones, like I swear we're gonna like have to start having like nursing home quarters on Senate grounds so these people can get there so their puppet masters can just use them as a human fax machine. But anyway, this also goes back to what we were talking about last week on age range. So 30% of voters said 70 years old, 19% say 75, 5% say 80, 2% say 85, and 34% of the people that they were polled opposed setting any age limit. So that sounds exactly like the poll that we ran, except for the whole 34% voters setting any age limit. But yeah. Anyway, as for candidates for representatives and Senate, okay, the House and Senate, 66% said setting a maximum age limit is a good idea. That is fantastic, okay? In the independents, it was 71%. Democrats, it was 66%. And Republicans was actually 64%, setting a maximum age range for Congress. This, of course, would probably be very similar to whatever that would be for the president because it's probably just, there's a certain point where you're just too old. I mean, honestly. So another important part, 68% of people think that Joe Biden is too old to effectively serve another four-year term as president. As compared to 65% in May. Okay. So 63% also think Donald Trump is too old to effectively serve another 4-year term as president. Compared to May, when it said 59% said that Trump is too old. So, President Biden, voters give President Biden a negative 39% job approval rating, unchanged from a negative 39% in August. So these are what people think about how Biden's doing his job, according to this official poll. Okay. I agree, Vince. I agree. He wasn't fit to serve the first term. You're not wrong. He wasn't even fit to be like, why 40 years in, like, give me a break. Anyway, they said that 51% of people disapprove to his handling of the Russia-Ukraine incident. 41% approve of prescription drug pricing. 53% of people disapprove of how he's handling climate change. And 60% of people polled don't like how he's handling the economy. So these are actually seemingly very honest numbers, but at the same time, it's throwing me off because I expected just a slightly bit more framing. Granted, I've never gone super in depth into this particular poll before, but there's always some kind of political framing that just kind of like throws shade on shit, right? And that's really what gets me. It said they thought Trump wasn't too old. Really? O is not too old. Is too old, and then not too old. That's okay. So there's some interesting phrasing. Okay. They asked people if Biden is too old to be effectively serving another 4 years. And then they asked people if Trump is not too old to effectively serve. Interesting. Unless, of course, that's just how they're framing the data percent. But what? Anyway, so Biden, yep, negatives. 40 years in Congress, but everything is Trump's fault. Yep. So 49% of people, of voters that they polled for this, of the 1,900 people or whatever that they polled for this, say that gas prices and consumer goods are their primary concerns, the price of these things, because things are getting very expensive, and they've gotten ridiculously more expensive, in my opinion, since Grandpa took over. Yeah, 10% for the big guy while he's, screwing the rest of us. Anyway, 48% the price of gas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, this is the primary concern. Price of gas and consumer goods, according to them. 34% say the housing market and rent, 9% are the stock market, 4% say job situation. Okay then. And Vince brings up another one. We would need to see the actual questions. I agree. The actual questions asked would be very helpful. Of course, I am operating under the assumption that the questions they are asking were worded exactly how they wrote them inside this article. Of course, that is an assumption that is based on a fallacy, which is foolhardy at best and foolish. Foolish in general to do. Anyway, so when voters asked how likely they were to think if there's going to be an economic recession, okay, so 33% people say it's very likely, 40% people say somewhat likely, 19% say not so likely, and 6 say not likely at all. So if you just put together the likely categories, that's 73% of people think that it's likely to happen within the next year. Okay. On a Likert scale and various types of statistical measurements, it makes a difference. But for the layperson, I'm just putting it into a context. So 73% of people think that a recession is likely to happen within the next year. Yeah. That's why I hardly ever say a study says. Yeah, always verify your information. Unfortunately, the numbers are coming from these people, and I have no way to independently verify them because I'm not going to go out and find a way to poll 2,000 people. Okay. If I wanted to do that, I would have stayed on the original career path that I was chasing when I got my master's degree. Okay. And that's not going to happen. All right, and that means they're more pessimistic now, by the way. 7 out of 10 say they are following the news on Hunter Biden. This is okay, YouTube. Hunter Biden. I am talking about the Quinnipiac poll. Okay, YouTube. Gosh. Nearly 7 out of 10 voters, 69% of people say they're following the news on to the investigation into Hunter Biden. 20% say somewhat closely. 41%. Oh, okay. So either very closely at 28% or somewhat closely at 41%. While 30% they're following it not too closely. That's because they're probably not aware of the severity of things going on. If the 30% were actually fully educated on the situation, they would actually probably be pretty pissed off about it. Half of voters say Justice Department treating the treatment of Hunter Biden's case by the Justice Department has not been tough enough. At 31%, it's been fair. 6%, it's been too tough. These are the people I want to know who, like, what? It's been too tough? These are pampered, spoiled, rich bitches. Like, fuck you people. Okay? Too tough. What has happened to him so far? Nothing. Shut the. The majority of voters say they're following the investigation, the House Republicans, into Hunter Biden's business dealings in Ukraine and China when his father was vice president very closely. That's 58%, 25% somewhat closely, and or what? Man, see, this is where it gets me. Okay, they don't list them in a uniform fashion. Okay, majority of voters of 58% say they're following the investigation very closely. Okay, and then 25 or somewhat closely, 33%. What do those numbers correlate to? 41%, they're not following it too closely. Okay, so is 25% somewhat closely, or like, are these two numbers related in any way? Why would you say 58% and then lead it directly into a 25%? Fix your shit. If you're a data company and you're supposed to be doing a legit study, you need to be able to catch things like this. You're an idiot. Okay. I think 25% of the 58. Okay. Gotcha. So that adds up to 58%. Okay. You guys still need to streamline that for lay people. Okay. If that trips someone like me up, that's going to mess with someone who's not familiar with this type of reporting. Okay. Just period. 40% of voters believe Hunter Biden did something illegal. No shit. 34% think he did something unethical but not illegal. 6% believe he did not do anything wrong. Again, the 6% are the entitled rich douchebags. 16% did not offer an opinion. These people are probably the smartest 16% in the entire poll. Just saying, half of voters think Joe Biden was involved. And 40% think he was not. The other 10% were undecided. 25% of voters believe Joe Biden, 35%, I apologize, of voters believe Biden was involved and did something illegal during his time as president. That's good. People are waking up to the truth. That's good. Or there's CNN, MSNBC viewers. You're not wrong. I originally came across this poll because of one of those mainstream people, and I was like, I'll look at their percentages. And I'm like, I'm just going to use the poll. Screw the article, because it was super, super, like, framed. They framed up the article to make, like, they picked and pulled. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, but I'm just bashing all of it all at once. So, you know. I like how it clarifies that 50% is half, right? See? And the same data analyst says nearly half of voters believe that with regard to his son, President Biden crossed the line either ethically or legally, or both. Okay, and now we're going to get into modern day, what the Trump indictments. Okay. I missed the day when the news was not overflowing with Trump indictment and war in Ukraine. Like, I miss those days. Do you know how hard it is for me to, like, hunt down stories to talk about? Because I have to go to so many obscure websites to find these kinds of stories and stuff. Like, I bounce all over the place. And no matter where I go, it's always Trump indictments and Ukraine. And guys, there's other things going on that you can talk about. You fucking trend chasers. Anyway, so the Trump indictments are fairly important, but still. Okay, they're asking about whether or not they think the charges filed against him are serious, okay? Are they serious? Well, of course they're serious. Attempting to overturn the results of a presidential election. 56% of people are fucking intelligent because yes, it's very serious. Just the charges themselves are serious. Okay? But that doesn't mean that the case against him necessarily is. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no love for the loudmouth orange man, but I don't like socialists, and I fucking hate the Democratic Party right now. I don't love Republicans, don't get me wrong. They're kind of lazy cowards most of the time. Step the fuck up or shut the fuck up. Those are the rules. But anyway, so I'm there. Okay, so these charges are very serious. Okay, they are. RICO statutes are very serious crimes. So this is actually a weighted, like kind of a two-faced question right here. Okay, when asked how serious they think the following charges are, the former president, against the former president, of course they are serious charges, for fuck's sake. This is where things get stupid. It goes back to what we were talking about in our Gilded server, which I will just go ahead and bring up. So hold on. But we were talking about this on Gilded in the Talks-A-Lot Town Square. If you'd like to join, Vince, go ahead and drop the link to invite them while I pop up the conversation we were having about the Yes, there's right here. Yep. Oh, got to move that over here. Make sure you join the Talks-A-Lot Town Square. I guess I could just real quick just try and make that work. Yeah. I can't believe how many times you have to push the copy button to get it to copy into your clipboard anymore from these weird ass freaking servers and shit like that. And there it is. Yeah, he beat me to it right as I was doing it. If I hadn't said anything, that's my Talks-A-Lot trinkets. Haha, I can beat him to an actual link for once. Yeah, join my Gilded, ladies and gentlemen. He messed up the original link, so if you click on it, let's see where it takes us. Be careful. This site might be harmful. Way to go, Vince. Gosh. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. It's an inside thing. But, zoom. Nope, can't zoom in there. All right. See, like Bush McFadden brought up something very important. It depends on the sample size and who conducted the poll. If the poll was conducted by Democrats, it is a lie. If it was conducted by Republicans, it might be a lie. And then, of course, Vince Womack said, also an important aspect is how the question was phrased, as we saw. And of course, one man show. He says polls are always manipulated to yield specific results. I have yet to see one that wasn't. And that's where things got kind of janky, if you will, with this particular poll. Is they went out and they asked them something that is going to place an automatic negative assumption inside the minds of the voters that they polled. And it's not actually an important item on this poll. They should have asked how many voters have lost confidence in Trump after if the indictment, run another hypothetical. If the indictments come through, will you lose confidence in this candidate? That's way more poignant question than how serious do you think the following charges are? They're being brought against an ex-president. They're going to be serious charges. This is a low-brained, compared to the rest of the poll, this right here actually slightly upsets me because they went from maximum effort to whatever. You know what I mean? And of course, if we're looking at this, okay, this was 1,910 U.S. adults nationwide were surveyed between September 7th and the 11th. with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.2 percentage points. That is a very fairly standard margin of error. Honestly, that's well within normal accepted levels in most cases. But I don't know how it works with politics. I mean, for all I know, their margin of errors could be 16% and they would be fine with it anyway, because it's politics. People are assholes about politics. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. And of course, hold up. He says, weird that the links are different, but both lead to the town square. When I click on that, it did not lead to the town square, bro. Hail to Writing with Charlie. What's up, dude? We're talking about polls and whether or not you can trust them. And these guys had a great start. I'm not going to lie. They pulled out ahead in the Let's Gain Some Trust with some seemingly honest reporting, and then they screwed the pooch. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They screwed the pooch with the Trump indictment question. Yes, how has the Trump indictment affected your opinion? Has it of the president? Would it make you lose confidence if he was actually convicted of anything? Blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what they asked. Do you think it's serious that he's being charged with trying to overturn an election? Do you think it's serious that he violated RICO statute so that they are charging him with doing so? Do you think it's serious that they're charging him with mishandling classified documents? Huh? Or how about falsifying business records? Do you think it's serious? I mean, give me a break. All right? Ask any mobster whether a RICO charge is serious. Okay? Yes, they're very serious. You guys are misrepresenting shit. It's not okay. Writing with Charlie says, as they say, liars figures and figures lie. Liars figure and figures lie. Alrighty, not familiar with that saying. Just saying, kind of a. All right, the survey included 1,726 self-identified registered voters with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.4 percentage points. The survey included 728 Republicans and 724 Democratic leaning people. So it was fairly well split. Okay. Vince says, actually, I heard from some people that they are voting for Trump because he's not indicted or even convicted. Sweet. Whatever your motivations are for voting for a candidate within the United States, awesome. Make sure you go out and you do your duty. But the only thing that I ask is that you educate yourself. Anyone out there? Read that again. Actually, I heard from some people that they are voting for Trump because he got indicted or even convicted. Oh, so they're doing it because of it? That just makes them retarded. You don't vote for someone because they're getting convicted of something. Let's vote for R. Kelly. The fuck are you talking about? You should vote for him because you believe in him or not. You should vote for someone who's the best fucking choice, not the shiniest of two turds. Go ask Nice Peter here on YouTube. Epic rap battles of history. I think that was him in the Lincoln costume, right? That should circulate every fucking election season. I mean, honestly. I fucking hate... I hate both sides because they each have such glaring problems that it's ridiculous. But you notice this is very well framed because there are no other choices. Why? Because people are not allowed to be educated of other choices they may or may not have. And while 30% of Trump's voter base and 50% of Biden's might switch sides depending on how things turn out, it's still something we have to kind of ask ourselves is, can we trust anything from the two faces of the same demonic head? I mean, let's be honest, they're terrible people. All over the fucking place. All right, they said it proves he's against the swamp or something to that effect. It doesn't, though. It doesn't. It proves that he pissed the wrong people off, but that doesn't prove that he's on anybody's side or that he's for the truth, justice, in the American way. Okay. I believe he's a better choice than Biden, but I think we could find better choices than either. Okay. And I'm sorry, but the shit shows we're getting out of these governors and the fucking senators and the morons like, oh boy, everybody hear Mitt Romney's not coming back? Oh, it's about fucking time, idiot. You should have fucked off after you lost the presidential race, you dipshit. Fucking. I hate the fact that these people can just recycle over and over and over again until they're literally having fucking seizure-induced strokes on the floor of the Senate and shit. Or that they can go overseas and make millions of dollars without having any risk, really. I mean, seriously. Do we honestly think any of these indictments are going to go anywhere? There you go. There you go. I got a poll for you. Why is that so damn big? That's crazy. Anyway, so my brain broke. So I'm going to do a different one. Wood. For in 2024. Yep, we're doing one of those polls, ladies and gentlemen. Dead air. Dead air. Everybody loves dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Everybody loves dead air. And I probably didn't spell that right either. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the poll of the night. Who would you vote for in 2024? Sasquatch, El Chupacabra, or the Greys? Yeah, let's get some woo-woo shit up in here. Oh, the Greys. You know, Aliens 2024. Take us to your leader. Are you gonna blow him up? I'll take you right there, bro. Let's do it. I'll give you his address and everything. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That was the movie, right? Murder at 1600. Yeah. Great movie, by the way. We're up to 5 votes. And the 6th one tied. Man. Tied up with 6. Vince says at least they have high-tech shit. I agree. Some just run to get the money from their campaigns. Yes, they do. And radioactive, of course. Finally, a poll we can trust. And of course, and my polls are always better than these people's because I give you a third option for, who would you vote for in 2024? I mean, honestly, Sasquatch, big, strong, tall, reliable, great at hide and seek. He's amazing. And then you got the Greys. They've got the technology. They've got like vast understanding of shit we'll never even know. We'll never know because they got that big old bulbous head and that prefrontal cortex and like they probably got extra parts up in there and they're probably like, and they can talk to people, right? And of course, El Chupacabra is just sitting back there sucking on goats. So I'm not surprised he hasn't gotten any votes yet. Even a pity vote at that point. I mean, honestly. Poor Chupacabra. I hear chupacabras look a lot like a blowed up Cotamundi. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, why don't you go watch Frank Lee versus El Chupacabra? Or better yet, Frank Lee versus the alien invasion, if you want to see the Greys. And if you want to see Sasquatch, of course, it's frankly Bounding into Buckwa. They're awesome. Anal probes are a plus for some people. Well, especially in today's world. Well, Radioactive has a point. El Chupacabra is from Mexico. He wasn't born here, but then again, neither were the Greys. Let's be honest. The Greys weren't born here either. But, we would make an exception for them, unlike we would ever make an exception for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, no way. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a really fun, interesting story to share this Saturday on Corey's Corner. It'll make a lot of Jewish people really happy, but I don't think a lot of Jewish people are going to be watching because it's Saturday. But you guys should totally watch. It's going to be an interesting time. Yeah, it's going to be great. So the 7 people, it's pretty well divided. 57% say Sasquatch. And 43% say the Greys. Maybe they are just humans from the future. Did you think about that? No. But their overall anatomy is not like human. They're barely even humanoid. I mean, honestly, if their head was any bigger, would they be humanoid? Would we classify them as such? No, because they'd need extra legs to carry the head. Gosh. Greys are considered undocumented off-world Americans. Oh, okay. Writing with Charlie says, got to go and get up at 3 a.m. Be safe, everyone. Man, I don't envy you. Have a good night, Charlie, and be safe out there doing what you do, sir. Hey. Yeah. I think that pretty much covers that. Some people have big heads. You're not wrong, but not like that. Just saying. I will give this poll another minute. Once it hits 5 minutes, I'm ending the poll, and then it can't be salvaged. So, evolution. Yeah. We like evolving backwards. I'm sorry, but like, I maybe technologically assisted evolution could achieve that, like in Stargate when the Asgard cloned themselves so much that they eventually just became the tiny little gray dudes, and that's not how they originally looked, but that's how the genetic material mutated over time, and that's just what happened, and stuff like that. I mean, and if it was genetic manipulation, it would still have to be otherworldly genetic manipulation. I don't, because the time travel thing, just they're like, if they was from the future, then why are they observing us? That's the question. You know what I mean? If they're from the future, they already know. Exactly. Copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It's all just cloning and breakdowns. Historians checking and verifying for accuracy. Is that what we're saying? Ooh, and 8 votes pushes it further to Sasquatch. Everybody loves the big guy. That's right. And oh my gosh, I totally missed the end of the poll and someone saved it at the end. Man. Hail to Javo. He was probably the deciding vote there. Not really. Sasquatch had a healthy lead, or the history was lost. I mean, that's possible. It is possible. I mean, in the realm of possibility, anything that can happen will happen. Then somewhere out there right now, someone is trying to fix a broken radiator with a slice of Swiss cheese. Yep, that's right. I said it. Swiss cheese. I don't know. I ever show you this?
Glitten.
Yeah, it was really cool, right? Anyway, getting hungry again. I had like a whole pizza earlier, and like some corn dogs and a bunch of shit. I'm still hungry. Why am I still hungry, yo? Like legit, why am I still hungry? Let's check in on the YouTube poll. That's on the other side on the community tab. Let's check it out. Oh man. Yeah, that's not really surprising. Still, no one has voted for completely or somewhat. I mean, there's no one out there who trusts polls completely or even a little bit. I mean, come on, guys. And I would just like to point out that 63 plus 38 is 101. How much you trust YouTube polls? That's kind of. Jeffo said, at 6'3", I am biased towards the Sasquatch, as you should be, sir. I had bratwurst and kraut. That's good. Hail to Dalu. He says, not a poll fan. I bet. I don't take polls. I don't take those kinds of polls either, bud. Don't at all. Hey. Says rounding error. Yeah, well, it shouldn't round. Not up. I don't care. 101 just shows that it's flawed. Sorry, it should give me percentages, like decimal points in the percentages. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I promise. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that poll's going to be up for like ever. I don't know if they ever expire or whatever, but I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that poll was revealing some fairly, not the one we were just looking at, but the one we talked about. The primary polls were revealing fairly honest seeming information. Now, oh yeah, see, there's another vote for the Squatch. Yeah. All right, I'll drop that as a poll up in here too. We'll just make that a community poll now. So, who? What do you vote for? In 2024. Yeah, add option. Sasquatch. And now we're going to move the grays to the second point. And then the third poll, because I'm not like primary polls or election, choices. I gave you way more than 2. I'll give you 3. All right. Radioactive says, not sure if we should trust the polls any more than the Brits, French, Russians, Chinese, etc. I know. Who should we put as the third option on this particular poll? Their chat. Who would be better than El Chupacabra? Mothman? Gotta say, the sample size and affiliation is sus. Yeah. Typically. Barbie. Okay, Radioactive says Barbie. I mean, I guess I could put that in there. Nah, fine. Okay. We'll say Barbie. Okay, and we're going to add a fourth option. We're going to make this crazy. Fine. Bigfoot. Cthulhu, yes. People will kill me if I don't spell that right. And no offense, Vince, but I didn't really. Yeah, let's just go copy. Cthulhu. All right, and there you go. Space Coast. Can't trust Mexico with after that alien. I know, bro. I know you saw that too, and that's crazy. Cthulhu. So there's the new poll, ladies and gentlemen. Oh well, Sean Landrigan would. Vote for Space Ghost. Next time we'll include him on the poll. Because it doesn't let you edit it. It just lets you delete it. It's kind of stupid. Coast to Coast. That was a good show. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get bouncing. So make sure you go over there to the community tab and vote on who you would choose in 2024. And, don't let my bias towards Bigfoot sway you, but Bigfoot's awesome. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you later tonight on Thursday Night Throwdown. Is that Harvard J. Cthulhu? Yes, it is. Of course. Duh. I don't know. What? It's better than Howard the Duck. Gosh. And YouTube still doesn't show it for Vince. He's a mod on my channel. Why? You guys are stupid. If you guys feel like supporting the channel, make sure you drop a tip, just a tip, on Ko-Fi. If you want something out of it, you can go to my Bandcamp and buy some music, or you can go to Toxalat Trinkets and buy some stuff. And then he says, I guess I'll go to the pool. All right, that's cool. Now it does. YouTube slow. Indeed. He says, good night all. I'll see you all in an hour on Thursday Night Throwdown over on Comics Division's channel. I hope you guys have a great time. Stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, I already said that. So, peace.